Jaylo, 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 Jaylo. I found out something about a half hour ago, which won't really affect my life in a day or two.
No.
Gerald Springer
Jerry.
has passed away.
And I knew that since yesterday, and I've kept forgetting to tell you. And I thought, oh, maybe he knew about it already.
I was on YouTube researching BIPOC stuff because we were really curious about the origins of the term.
We both think it's a really stupid term.
I think it was probably some rich white lady who came up with it.
Or it could have been a rich black lady.
It's probably a rich white lady, though.
Probably not.
If I had a bet
probably
money.
It could either be a white minority social worker, or I'm sorry, a white social worker or a minority social worker. It just seems like a lot of people that are in the...
Wait a second. Did you say it could either be a white social worker or a white social worker?
No.
Okay.
I said it could either be a white social worker or a minority social worker, whoever it is. It just seems like a lot of, maybe not everybody, but there are people in social work that like to get active in the social activism stuff. It seems like.
It was probably Gwyneth Paltrow or one of her buddies.
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know for sure, babes. That was meant as a joke, but it didn't land. Anyway,
it could have been. It could have been the. I don't know. I don't know who could have started it, but we haven't found that out.
No, and we did a fair amount of searching, but I'm on YouTube trying to find this out, and a thing comes up from the Breakfast Club YouTube channel saying that Jerry Springer died at age 79.
Yep, that was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Jerry Springer was starting his show up in the early 90s, and it was still pretty... I mean, the beginning of the show was still pretty weird.
It wasn't as bizarre as it got, because in the early days, he at least tried to appeal to people and make it sound like he cared about folks. It was kind of like how Maury, before he did, baby paternity tests, would have normal subjects or more. Yeah,
and he would talk to kids who had like different conditions because some people didn't understand, or adults that had conditions because he wanted to understand them. Jerry Springer in the beginning seemed like he was trying to understand these people and wanted to know if that was really what they were doing, and then all of a sudden it just came. It was just like a free-for-all brawl.
I would say around 95, 96 is when his show started to change, yeah.
Yes, it has. There were people that were saying that they had affairs with so-and-so, or they were doing stuff with their niece or whatever, like trying to appeal to the very bizarre people. And I think I told you I met a girl that was on the show.
And she bragged about it.
Yes, she did.
That's not something I would offer voluntarily.
I think her story was true though.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I think her story was true. I'm not going to say it here because I don't even think I remember the whole thing, but it was pretty it was pretty crazy.
I know that Doug Stanhope faked a story before he became like a famous comedian to get on Jerry Springer. He wrote about it in that book, Digging Up Mother.
Really?
Yeah, that's a really good book that he did. So a lot of those stories obviously were not real, but they were fun to watch.
What was his story?
I think if I remember correctly, and I might have it wrong, is he went on there with some actors and pretended that they were in a 3-way relationship. And if I'm remembering too correctly, I think Dateline actually did a profile of them as they were about to go on the Jerry Springer show. I might have that part wrong.
It was either Dateline or 2020 or one of the shows did a profile on the Jerry Springer show to see if it was actually real or not.
Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert, it's not.
No. When you see people throwing chairs at each other, it's more for, ratings than anything.
That has happened on real shows. Like there was that famous incident with Geraldo where he had the white supremacists on and somebody threw a chair and it broke Geraldo's nose.
Oh, ow.
Yeah. Geraldo actually used to be a real kind of person back in the day, even though it's easy to forget that now.
I don't think much of Geraldo anymore.
I don't either.
I think he seemed a little bit more interesting when he had a show, because he had all kinds of people on there. And some of them had some really horrible stories.
And he was also open about how he had a sex addiction.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And he married some like really younger woman, like a much younger woman named I think her name was Erica.
Which one? He's had like 5 wives now.
I think the current one.
Okay.
Yeah. But now I just think he's kind of old and just old and tired.
I look at somebody like Geraldo and think, you lost your way, bro. How did you go from Willowbrook to doing what you're doing now?
Yeah. Yeah, when that Willowbrook case was happening, I mean, he was on it.
Mm-hmm.
He went to see for himself, and it was a horrible thing that they were doing to these kids.
It was.
Yeah. Were they kids or they're a young adult?
I thought they were young adults, but honestly, it's been so long that I don't know.
I am glad that they closed that facility down.
Yeah, really glad.
Yeah. It just seemed like he was a lot more caring, and now it's just, I don't know. He got too caught up in the culture.
What I would say is it seemed like not necessarily that he was more caring, but that he was a lot more complex of a person.
Yeah.
And now to me, what it feels like when I watch him, I think he's still a correspondent with Fox News, but he'll do interviews with other news outlets. It feels like I'm watching somebody who's just playing a part. And I no longer see the humanity in what he does. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not a real human, but it means he's lost that touch as a broadcaster.
He doesn't seem very personable.
Exactly. And he did back in the day.
He definitely did. I will say that.
Now, whether or not that was true, I don't know, but he was able to project that. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it felt like you were rooting for him when you watched his stuff.
I mean, when I looked at Geraldo Rivera of yesteryear, he kind of reminded, well, maybe not quite, but compared to like, Montel Williams, when Montel Williams was on his show. Yes, he had Sylvia Brown, but I honestly think he was a very personable talk show host, because when he had like women that had some horrendous child abuse, he would just start crying on the air.
Yeah, Geraldo, I mean, even more so with Montel.
Mm-hmm.
He seems so real of a dude.
Yeah.
And
he does.
In some ways, I really feel sad for Montel Williams, because I know he's had health issues, but he's also had divorces, I believe. And
he had breast cancer at a young age. I think he's a younger age.
He seemed like a stand-up dude.
He was in the, so he, not only that, but he also served in the military. So he's been through a lot of struggles, and he's been very open about his MS. And I mean, he just seemed a lot more personable and real.
I got a dumb question for you.
What's that? No, my father has never met Montel.
Well, that was not my dumb question.
Okay.
But it's good to know.
Okay.
We're talking about TV talk show hosts from the 1990s.
Yes.
Primarily because Jerry Springer died, I guess, yesterday.
Yeah.
Are daytime talk shows still really a thing?
I don't think so. There's less of them out there, and I don't watch them.
Because I believe Dr. Phil still does one.
He does.
But are there other like big shows in that genre
today? I do not
today?
know, because I don't watch them often. I really don't.
And for somebody who maybe didn't grow up in the 90s like we did, let's say somebody who was born in 2000, they may not understand how big that genre was in the 90s.
Yeah, I used to go home and watch Ricky Lake and Jenny Jones, because a lot of kids were watching it back then. And even though my aunt said, this is all trash, we didn't understand it. We just thought it was like, ooh, this is a new thing.
Your aunt, by the way, is right. It was all trash. But on the other hand, it is interesting trash, especially for teenagers.
Yeah, and now it's kind of faded out now. There's just gonna be like one talk show on the air now, and some of them and if there are talk shows, they're usually fun talk shows. You know what I mean? They're not like really deep. I mean,
Rosie O'Donnell kind of started, or at least revived the idea of a fun daytime talk show. When you think about it,
I personally liked her show when she did it because it was fun. I don't care to watch another show of hers. I really think that other one was fine.
See, we're kind of opposites. I watched that show because it was on, but it wasn't really my jam. And back then I just watched anything because I was a dumb teenager. But I like her more now that she's outspoken.
Nah, me not so much. I think she's gotten meaner, and I don't know.
Oh, wow. See, I had the impression that she was probably meaner back then. We just didn't see it. And now that she can talk openly, she's probably a nicer person in real life. But she may come across as meaner because she's more honest.
Well, I remember one time she said that she would never give an autograph to a child that was past the age of 16. I don't know why she said that. I can't remember why she said it, but I thought, well, that's why. I don't get that. They're kids, you know. I don't know. I personally think she's full of herself now, and I don't know.
I don't know. Just me. I hear interviews with her today, and she seems pretty with it. There are a few things that she says that I'm like, yeah, but that's with everybody.
Well.
Yeah, really with everybody. But those shows were big. I remember Babes. Mm-hmm. I had a teacher in high school who lived 5 minutes away. So he would go home for lunch and then come back and tell us what was on Jerry Springer
that They were just as big as soap operas.
Yeah, they were. They
really were. I mean, like the adults that were in our lives that watched their stories, as some of them would call them.
Yeah. These were our stories.
These were it's true. For younger women and younger men, these were our stories.
This and like the WWF. Although I think honestly, in my life, talk shows were bigger than that.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, unless you're like WWF or later WWE was more for men that liked wrestling, which I didn't really care for anyway.
It was one of those things. When I got a little bit older, we're talking around 15, and started to hit the bong, I watched a fair amount of WWF, but around the same time I stopped being like a daily smoker, I lost interest in wrestling.
Uh-oh.
And I was never like a hardcore fan, because you always knew it was fake.
Uh-oh, Mom, don't listen to this.
What's that?
She doesn't know about your past.
Oh. Well, good. Well, she knows now there, little Jaylo.
No, those were our stories.
Yeah, they were. You should have told that to your aunts. I'm watching my stories.
No, I would just watch in the other room, or sometimes she'd watch, something with me, but it's kind of cool now because I can watch anything I want to on my devices.
Yeah. And you could even go on and probably find a lot of old episodes of the Jerry Springer Show.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
They have almost everything on YouTube. I mean, I found some like old shows of Ricky Lake that I never watched.
It's one of those things, if I were to search for that, I'd probably watch 5 or 10 minutes and then want to fill my brain up with something intelligent. Because it's fun as a kid, but it really is very base, dumb programming. In my opinion.
Oh.
Now, I will say this. I've heard a few interviews with Jerry Springer, and...
Oh, you're talking about Jerry Springer, not the other one.
Well, I'm talking about them in general.
Okay.
I think, as a genre, it's very dumbing down of the mind.
It is.
You don't want to watch too much of it.
It is, for sure. It is.
It's the fast food of television, in a way.
Yeah, and in some ways you're right about that. I mean, you are.
Yeah, but I've seen interviews with Jerry Springer, and he seemed pretty intelligent.
He was the mayor of Cincinnati at one time.
Well, kind of lib. But I believe he got out of office because he wrote a check to a hooker and it bounced.
Uh-oh.
Or at least that's a story I've heard about him.
Yes.
Yeah. But I could see him as a teacher. I mean, maybe not bringing in hookers into the school, but you know what I mean? I could see him...
Like a teacher.
Poli-sci teacher.
Maybe not a poli-sci.
Or history teacher.
Maybe history teacher, or maybe even like a sex ed teacher or something.
Yes.
Can you imagine that? A sex ed teacher?
He had a podcast for a while.
Did he really?
Yeah, and it would be out of Cincinnati in front of a live audience, if I'm remembering right. I only listened a few times, but I thought it was good.
I would imagine him in a college setting teaching human sexuality to people that want to take the class.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I don't think I want to take it just because of what craziness would come about.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Didn't he have a blind daughter?
I don't know.
I remember hearing something
Really?
about that. I think he was on one of those reality shows like Dancing with the Stars, and it came out that his daughter was blind. I might be remembering that wrong.
You'll have to look that one up because I don't know. I don't know much about him. I don't know. I heard he liked to sing. Like he was a fan of the Beatles.
Interesting.
But I don't know if he did sing or not.
Most people are fans of the Beatles, I would say.
Most people that were with it are fans of the Beatles, except for some people that are like, who is that?
Who are they? Nobody cares about that.
Nobody cares about them.
Maybe in Britain they do.
My goodness. But the people in the younger generations who actually like older music would appreciate that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, my cousin really took to the Beatles, and nice. He's 12 years younger than me.
Is that dude who's really into chocolate?
Yes, you are correct.
He seems like a cool guy from just what little I hear about him. He seems like my kind of guy.
Because of the chocolate?
Yeah.
And he likes the Beatles?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
Oh?
Yeah.
Well, good. Do you like him, or are you one of his haters?
No, I don't hate him.
Oh, good.
He's my cousin.
I just wanted to check.
I've known him since he was a baby.
Well, good.
I've been around since he was a baby.
Well, I'm glad to hear that there, Jaylo.
Yeah.
So rest in power to Gerald Springer.
I think it's just Jerry. I think.
But you can call him Jerry if you want. We think.
I thought Jerry was like just a regular name.
It is, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if it's short for Gerald.
I thought it was short for Gerald or Jerome.
Or maybe Jared.
Well, I thought it's like Richard, right? My name.
Yeah.
I mean, Rick is obviously short for it, but then you have Richie, you have Rich. There are a few ways to say it.
Yeah, there's like a what do you call the words? Like yeah, there's a few ways to say it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the word right now. Yeah, I don't know. I always thought Jerry was just a regular name and wasn't short for anything. But what do I know?
I'm pretty sure it's short for Gerald.
Or
Jerome, but typically Gerald. Don't quote me on that though. But rest in power.
Oh my goodness.
To Gerald Springer. Or Jerry.
Oh my.
You can call him Jerry. I'm his mama called him Gerald. I'm gonna call him Gerald.
How do you know his mama called him Gerald?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. What else?
He was born and the mom was like, I'm going to name him Jerry.
Yeah, but she probably wouldn't have known he was going to become a Jerry.
Good point, babes.
Yeah, that was... I was just thinking about that because I told you that I heard this one lady on Howard Stern, and she said that she had sex with Jerry Springer, but I don't know if that's actually true.
I don't know. It might have been true. Who knows?
Yeah. Or she had some kind of interaction with Jerry Springer, and I didn't know that. I wasn't sure if she was actually telling the truth or not.
You know what I always think when I hear about somebody like Jerry Springer dying? In my mind, I always hope to myself that it was a fast death. Because I think one of the worst things in life would be to have a slow, prolonged passing.
And you know you're going.
Yeah.
But it's slow.
I really hope that it's one of
Actually, I think he said that he had some kind of a cancer and died.
Oh, no.
I think. But I heard it was fast.
I was just going to say, I really hope it was one of those things to where he woke up yesterday morning and was just living in his life and then just died suddenly.
I heard it was a fast cancer, though. Like, it just took him not that... And you'll have to look this up. But speaking of fast deaths, I knew of someone who died, and I heard about it after the fact, but he had a stroke that morning and he died that night.
We've talked about this ad nauseum.
We did?
To me, what I'm about to say.
Oh.
That's a slow death. I want to just be doing my thing 1 second and be gone the next. I want to die so fast, and I know I've said this many times, that my brain doesn't have enough time to interpret what's really happening. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think the best kind of a death is when you're in your sleep, so you don't end up waking up.
That's how my mom died.
Yeah, I'd rather die that way than to get hit by a semi truck or to be on the road with somebody and they crash into a tree, or skiing into a tree. That's a horrible way to go.
Hey, just as long as it's fast, I don't care how I go. But it's got to be super fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I wouldn't want to be living with like brain injuries or severe traumatic brain injuries. That would be horrible. But anywho, let's...
Well, real quick.
What?
Have you ever thought to yourself, I know you're a Christian, so maybe your mind hasn't gone here. What if the way I die determines how the afterlife is going to be for me? So I want a fast death, but what if that means I slowly get tortured in the afterlife because my death was so quick?
I don't think it has anything to do with that.
I don't either, but I just wanted to double check with you.
No.
Good.
Good.
My mom's birthday was this week. She's dead. So.
Oh, she has an April birthday?
April 26th.
Oh, wow. I was just...
Wednesday,
wow.
And my dad's was April 24th.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but we don't like him, so.
Oh, well.
Alana does, but.
I never met him.
Oh, good.
And I probably don't want to.
Good.
That was also Barbara Streisand's birthday, but I don't really like her much.
Which one, the 26th or the 24th?
The 24th.
Nice.
But,
two people you don't like.
Well, I mean, I like her. I like some of her music, but otherwise, she doesn't seem like a nice person.
No. You know who I heard is a big Barbara Streisand fan?
Who?
Bill Maher.
Ugh.
I know.
So, I mean, I don't get nauseous when I hear her songs at all. I think some of her songs are not bad, but I just heard she's not a very nice person. Like, she's such a diva.
I do wonder, though, how much of that is she gets crap because she's a woman and she knows what she wants to do career-wise versus she really is a bad person.
I don't know. I haven't been hearing a lot of good things about her. I think it's really weird that she cloned her dog.
That is weird. I heard some rumor about that.
I don't get that. I mean, let the dog rest.
Yeah.
After the dog goes, I mean, why would you want it? I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to give you a choice. What do you want first? Do you want me to go on a diatribe against Democrats or go on the diatribe against Republicans? Or do you want to talk about the Praj situation?
I don't want us to go on diatribes about any party because
I got a lot to say negative about both parties today.
Oh.
And there's another thing. There are two different situations. One involving Bernie Sanders and one involving Ron DeSantis, where I agree with Ron DeSantis.
It's Ron DeSantis.
In one situation, even though I think his logic is wrong.
Really?
Yep. And then there's another situation with Bernie Sanders where I disagree with Bernie.
Huh, that's interesting.
Or we could talk about Praj first. What do you think?
Why don't we talk about Praj?
Just
because I want to get this out of the way so we can talk about other stuff.
Okay. Praj was a very, very big rap star in the 1990s. He was part of the Fugees.
The Fugees were really big in the mid-90s.
He also had that song Ghetto Superstar, which was huge in 1998 from the Bullworth soundtrack.
That was with ODB and Maya.
Yep. Huge song.
Yes,
great song.
Yes, it was.
And comes out this week that he's a snitch.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was like, whoa.
He admitted on the stand apparently to being an FBI informant.
And he was found guilty of all charges.
What were the charges for?
He was taking donations and funneling money he was funneling money to this guy named Jaylo. I'm not familiar with the guy. And that was going to to Barack Obama's campaign, and there's ties to the CCP.
They also did say that there were ties to him and Trump too.
No, it was talking about the when the Trump administration was going on, but I don't think it has anything to do with Trump.
Oh. It's
just when that was going on, it was during the Trump administration. But that doesn't mean that Trump was involved in it. But it was crazy. It was crazy. When I heard about that, I just heard about that like literally, was it yesterday or the day before?
It was within the last few days.
Last couple days, yeah. And I told you about it. And you're like, yes, I heard about it.
Hip Hop DX has been talking about it.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
Yeah, it's really crazy stuff.
And he was just so big in the 90s.
He was people who are younger, it's like reality TV, or I guess TV talk shows rather. They don't really get how big of a star he was. And part of it too is because he was never really a successful solo artist, but his group was huge. And I know Ghetto Superstar is a big hit, but he wasn't the only one on the track. But he was part of some big movements in hip hop.
Yeah.
You know that his lawyer is David Kenner.
I don't know anything about him.
David Kenner was the guy who represented Snoop during the murder trial.
Wow.
And there's a documentary, I want to say, called Welcome to Death Row. And it's obviously about Death Row Records. If I'm remembering right, the implication is that David Kenner had a lot to do with getting Death Row Records started. But he was more of a behind-the-scenes guy.
I mean, when I think of the last name Kenner, I think of the toy company, but from Kenner.
Nice. Apparently they're going to appeal, but it does not look good for Pras Michel.
Yeah, because he was found guilty on all those charges. I can't remember how many charges, but they're quite a bit of charges against him. Oh, I wonder how long he would be in federal prison for.
I don't know. It's so weird.
It is weird.
The turn that everybody from the Fugees has taken. Lauryn Hill has gone off the deep end, in my opinion.
I would agree.
Wyclef did some good solo albums. Then he tried to go into politics.
But it didn't work out for him either.
It didn't work out for him. He seemed like a cool guy. And then I heard that apparently he's a big Sarah Palin fan.
That's not a bad thing.
I think so. I think so, babes.
She's not a bad person.
I don't know.
She went through a lot with her husband and
and the 6 colleges she went to. Ugh. What? She did, babes, didn't she?
No, I don't know how many colleges.
He was more than 5 years in 7.
But
here. We only need to get a number more than 5 years in 7. And then people assume how many they want to assume it is. Give me a kiss.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
But I mean, they didn't, it didn't work out for those two, and then
Pras has his issues.
Pras has, how many people were in the Fugees? Just the 3 of them,
Just the 3 of them, yep. I mean, Rod Diggus did some stuff with them.
Okay.
But it was primarily the 3 of them.
I just realized that probably the biggest song that they did was Killing Me Softly with Lauryn Hill.
That was a huge track.
That was.
I think out of all the Fugees,
yeah,
even though I have some issues with his politics, Wyclef is probably the most normal.
I would say that. I mean, he was in, remember when they did We Are the World Haiti?
Vaguely. I remember hearing about it, but not listening to it.
I didn't like that version. I thought it sounded way too auto-tuned and way too, they took excerpts from the original We Are the World in 1985. And I remember that clearly because by that time I was still in preschool, and all those people were formed that group USA for Africa.
Okay.
And they did We Are the World Haiti 25 years later. And that was okay, but and I understand the effort.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Let's say Fugees are around in the 90s.
Yes.
And they release the score. And instead of selling, I've heard figures around 17 million. Mm-hmm. I've heard 20 million. I've heard 10 million. But let's just say 17 million. Mm-hmm. Instead of selling 17 million copies, it sells 1 million copies. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So they're successful, but they're not at this super, super, super high level. Do you think that they'd still be making music together today? And do you think that maybe having mild success would have kept them a little bit more grounded than having this phenomenal thing happen to them?
It's possible. It is. I mean, sometimes people have done better when they weren't as successful. So I don't know. I just thought of one of the songs that they did.
What's that?
You know that one song where it's like, how many tips do I rip on the deli?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, babes. Let's get into politics.
Oh, no.
Who do we want to go off on first? The Dems or the Republicans? Bernie or Marge?
I don't want to talk about Marge.
You know what happened this week?
The only thing I know what happened, I think it might have happened last week, was about how she called out Eric Swalwell.
Well, there's that, and I don't really, that wasn't what I was going to discuss.
Oh.
Apparently, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and you can watch this, and apparently they were saying on TYT the other day that she's even getting some pushback from conservatives for this. She said that adopted parents and step parents aren't real parents.
What?
She said this in the hearing. It was to do with COVID lockdowns, and they were interviewing somebody who's like a higher up educator, and Marjorie Taylor Greene asked her, do you have real kids? Or you're not a real mother. You're not a birth mother. You're just like a stepmother. That's not a real parent.
Are you sure that wasn't edited?
I could play you the clip, but I'm not allowed to play you clips.
Oh. Well, the only reason why I'm not sure about this is because if you find some stuff on YouTube, it's not always, what you would actually, because I heard that YouTube does edit stuff too. So I don't know.
Do you agree with that statement?
No, I don't, actually. I don't know why. I never heard that. I'm probably going to hear about it some more, but I'm going to look into that because I think it's ridiculous. If in fact she did say it.
But you are going to look into it?
Yes, I will.
Okay, cool. And we already know she has ties to Nick Fuentes and all that stuff.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does. She's spoken at his events before.
Really?
Yes, she has.
The weird guy?
Yes.
The weird guy that was hanging out with
Kanye West. Yep, she's spoken at his events before.
Who's Nick? What was Nick Fuentes giving an event for?
It was some like really right wing thing. I could find the info for you.
How do you know it was a real? Because Nick Fuentes is kind of a weirdo. So
I know he is.
I mean, a lot of people have been talking about how weird this guy is. So I don't know.
This was about a year or two ago. She spoke at a Nick Fuentes events. And we already know the comments about Jewish space lasers, but we don't have to go too deep into March. All right, so
you talk like she's your next door neighbor or something.
I always have these fantasies, babes.
Yeah.
If I'm called in front of a committee that Marge is leading, and she says something to me like, "You're not a real blind guy, you have some vision," or "How do you talk about parents you don't have any kids?" and I'll say something like, "True, but I'm also not sleeping with my yoga instructor." And I hope that the Jewish space lasers don't stop this hearing.
Oh my goodness.
Just to get a reaction out of Marge. Okay, so we got a couple things we could talk about, babes. We could talk about how the Dems are messing up. We could talk about what Bernie's doing wrong.
Oh, I already know what this is about.
Oh, you do? With the
yes.
We could talk about the Republicans. We could talk about Ron DeSantis. We could talk about Tucker Carlson or Don Lemon.
I don't think we need to talk about Tucker Carlson or Don Lemon because that's been talked about so many times. I already gave you my opinion on both people. I'm confused about Tucker Carlson, but I'm glad that Don Lemon was fired from, or I'm sorry, I think he left CNN.
No, he was fired. They were both fired the same day.
Yeah, okay. So I'm confused about the Tucker Carlson thing, and you already know how I feel about it. But
by the way, you told me that right after we stopped recording the last one we did.
Yeah. And I think I said it on our episode.
No, you didn't, because
I didn't?
We literally found out right after we stopped recording, like 5 minutes later.
Okay. Did I? Okay.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
Okay, so do you want me to go into that?
We can go into it.
Okay, so I'm not surprised that they were both fired. I think Don Lemon was going to be fired eventually because he's like probably one of the dumbest commentators I've ever had the displeasure of hearing clips of. And he said some pretty weirdo stuff on the air. The reason why I'm confused about Tucker Carlson is because some people are saying that he lied about what he said about the election being rigged when he was off of the air. He said it wasn't. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But then why would he interview Donald Trump personally? And why would he interview other people, like people that would want to talk about the shots, right? I mean, he would interview people that other outlets wouldn't interview. So I'm a little bit confused about that.
I could maybe provide my take on it, which is Tucker Carlson tries to appeal to the conspiracy-minded crowd. That's why he spread at least what he thinks are lies about the election. And if you notice too, they gave him all the footage on January 6th, and he did one segment showing some of the footage.
I think because they wanted him not to show anymore. I honestly think that he was being silenced by his own network. If you want my opinion on that one.
That's your opinion, but I thought that he was this guy who's known to stand up for things. He's an anti-authoritarian, and at least that's what he tries to tell his audience.
But now I'm kind of wondering if that whole if I don't know what the deal is. I'm still very confused about him.
Well, there's another couple of things. It's not that he also didn't believe that the election was stolen. He didn't believe that, even though he was telling people that on his show.
And how do we know that he didn't now?
Well, we know that he didn't because of the text messages. We also know that it's not just he said one or two negative things about Donald Trump. He called him a demonic force. That's not just saying you dislike a guy. Calling somebody a demonic force in private while you're publicly praising him is a little bit...
Who was he texting?
He was texting back and forth with the Fox brass. We know this because of the Dominion lawsuit. These texts came out.
Okay. So I'm very confused.
Now, you're not going to like this other part. There is... Now, for somebody who talks against elitists, or Tucker Carlson came from a very rich family.
Yeah, I know we talked about this.
And we've established that, but there is also a tinge, and that's putting it very kindly, of white supremacy in his behavior.
You already went over this.
Well, but here's the new thing that we didn't know last week. Apparently, there was a Fox producer, I forget her name, but it's going to come out in the news soon because she's filed lawsuits, who was assigned to Tucker Carlson's show last year.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it was Glassberg, something Greta Glassberg. I could have that wrong. Do not quote me on that. I'm sure I have that wrong.
Glassberg? Okay.
I probably have that name wrong. She was Jewish, and according to her, Tucker Carlson made many anti-Semitic comments, and she's going to sue Fox News and Tucker Carlson. And apparently, she has a lot of these on tape that are going to come out during the lawsuit. So that, I'm sure, contributed to why he was fired. Or I shouldn't say I'm sure. That's my assumption.
I still have questions about this because one side's saying that he was anti-Semitic and racist, which I'm not sure I believe.
Yeah.
But then there's other people that are saying that he didn't believe in the election stealing because of text messages. But then I'm thinking, well, is it possible that the same people that are saying these things are making it look like he actually said it? Because as you know, and you've been on social media long enough to know that people can make things look the way that they look when it's not really what's going on.
Okay.
As you know, right? I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about this.
Let me help you contextualize this.
Yeah. Tucker
Carlson presents himself as an anti-elitist person. This is the impression I got, and I think you would agree to that.
Right.
Does that jive with coming from a rich family who's connected to the Swanson fortune?
Well, maybe. Well, and my question would be, maybe he doesn't want to be like his rich family. Maybe he wants to be anti-establishment.
Okay.
Just like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Now, we don't know what his policies are. I don't either. I kind of wonder if he wants to step out of the establishment.
Well, Tucker Carlson claims to not be a fan of Joe Biden, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why did he get Joe Biden's son to help Tucker's son get into a college?
Yeah, this is why I'm very conflicted when it comes to Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, I would say
I am no longer conflicted about Sean Hannity. I think he's an outright liar, and I think he's a whining. I think he's a whining guy.
Now, the other thing you have to consider with these text messages coming out, it's not like they were released to Twitter. The way that they were got, for lack of a better term, is when Dominion sued them, Fox had to turn over certain documents, including the text messages of their hosts. So this was ordered by a court of law, which means that Tucker probably didn't want these texts to get out to the public. Now, does that strike you as somebody who's being honest? If they're saying that Trump is such a great guy in public and behind the scenes, it's not just saying that he's lying about the election, but is also calling him a demonic force? See, these things to me strike me as somebody who's not a very trustworthy guy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's easy to say that, but I want to explore both things, and I don't know. I mean, there's so many things that are about him that are confusing to me. And I don't know. I haven't come to any conclusions.
That's fair. And you know my take. I'm definitely not a fan of his.
And also because I've watched his show many, 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 many times. And I know that I haven't watched it in 3 years. But I've heard clips about him. I've heard clips of his shows and people he's interviewed. I do not know if he's all these things, why he would interview these people. Because if he wanted to boost up his ratings in the mainstream, the corporate mainstream media crowd, he would not have interviewed these people.
Well, let me ask you,
or talked about the shots.
Okay. So this goes back to my take. He tries to appeal to the fringe conspiracy theorists in the right wing community.
And by the way, just because they're being dismissed as conspiracy theorists, it doesn't make them conspiracy
No, but
theorists.
I'm not just talking about the shots. I'm talking about a lot of the subjects he talks about. And let me ask you, I'll give you one other example. Does an honest guy come out and say, we're going to interview Kanye West and show the unedited footage, and then it comes out later there's a longer interview and his staff did edit it to make Kanye seem more normal?
Well, have you thought that maybe it's the network's fault for doing that? Because, as you know, there are networks that will have people report on things that they want them to report on, and some of them will either do that or they won't do it.
Okay, two points I would make for that is Tucker Carlson, one, presents himself as the everyman, the anti-establishment who goes against the grain. So, but yet he can't challenge his network. That's one point. And two, if you're going to show an edited version with Kanye West, why are you promoting it as the unedited version? Just say it's a interview with Kanye West. Don't even say it's edited or unedited. But by you saying it's unedited, and then we find out later, like a week later, that you edited it.
Edited?
Yeah, it was edited. Yeah. And he said it was an unedited raw interview. It's not a good look for you.
Uh-oh. Well,
you would agree on that, right?
Yes, I would. But as I've said, I'm very confused and conflicted about this person.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't like Don Lemon, but
I think, I don't either.
With the Don Lemon thing, I also don't know as much about him because I haven't seen that much of his stuff. But what I've seen doesn't really impress me too much.
No, you're not missing anything.
Good.
You're not. He wasn't all that great. I never thought he was great anyway.
Well, I'm glad to hear that there,
Jaylo.
Is there anything else you want to say about Tucker Carlson?
No, I think that we'll have to see what happens with this whole thing. So, we'll see.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
A lot of people are saying that he's bigger than Fox News and that he's going to be super successful now that he's no longer on their platform.
That could be true, and I also think that it may not be good for Fox because Fox has been losing a lot of people that used to watch them for a long time, including myself.
Right, but Fox is also losing people because less people are watching cable. And I think that Tucker Carlson is going to be successful, but don't forget, Bill O'Reilly was their main star for like 20 years. And I'm sure he's still working, but he ain't as popular as he used to be.
He still is, but he does his own thing behind the scenes. I mean, it's more independent than anything.
By the way,
probably why you don't hear about him.
In a lot of ways, I think Bill O'Reilly is worse than Tucker Carlson.
I don't think he's worse than Tucker Carlson.
I could tell you why too.
Oh, Bub, we already went over this.
What's my reasoning
then? I think you were gonna say something about the Iraq War. Something about the Iraq War and what he said when he interviewed such and such.
Very good, very good. Yeah. And he helped sell an election in 2000.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I honestly don't think he's worse, although there are some things that I would disagree with him on.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, good.
But that's what it is. You agree to disagree.
That's white.
But I don't think he's a horrible person. I do think that there are some things that he's that I don't agree with him on.
Oh, yeah. And Tucker Carlson, if I remember right, was originally for the Iraq War, but like a year later came out and said that he was wrong. So
yeah.
Now I've also heard that he's on the bandwagon of trying to get us to war with China. So, but anyways, we don't have to talk about Tucker Carlson all day. And I'm sure more of this will come out as future lawsuits start to happen against him.
Oh my.
So we'll talk about him some other time there, little Jaylo. Okay. We want to go off on the Democrats. What do you think?
Why don't we go off on the Republicans first, just so I can get that out of the way? Because I have a lot of fun going off on the Democrats.
Oh, in some way, I feel we already did, except they're really fighting this pill, right? They're fighting this pill, the what is it? The morning after pill.
No, it's not. It's the abortion pill.
Abortion pill.
I forgot what it's called. Is it methotrexate or
something like that?
Yeah.
And regardless of what Alana feels, listen, I'm pro-abortion. I'm abortion all day. Abortion's for everybody. We're gonna start Abortion City when I become.
Yeah, Mom, don't watch this episode.
when I become, babes, hold on. Mom. Okay, when I become president, we're changing. What? Let me talk, babes.
Okay.
We're changing Portland to Abortion City. That's what I'm doing. But regardless of how little Jaylo feels, it turns out that banning abortion rights isn't very popular with people. But Republicans still keep pushing it. So I don't understand that. And
I can tell you why.
Why is that? Because
when a woman gets pregnant, she has the only rights that she has is to that baby. And that baby, I know, people are like, well, it's just a fetus. By the way, a baby can still feel pain in 6 weeks of pregnancy.
Wait a second, how do we know that?
Because they can actually see it on an ultrasound. There have been a lot of research done on how a baby grows in the womb. And by 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, it can feel pain. So if a person thinks that baby is not a living thing already, there are ways to prove that baby can feel pain. But besides that, I think the reason why people are so up in arms about it is because when it comes to children, when it comes to unborn babies who would have had a life if their mother or father has not coerced the mother into having this abortion, or if the mother did not believe that their child would be an inconvenience, or if she decided to give that baby up for adoption instead of killing her own baby, then that's probably why then it probably wouldn't be such an issue.
Now, doesn't it say something in Numbers, this is what I've heard, that if a man suspects that his wife was impregnated by somebody else, he can basically have her have an abortion? And I know it's worded differently than Rick just worded it, but that's what I've heard.
What I understand is a woman can have an abortion without telling the man.
Okay.
And there are men who have been devastated by women having abortions when they didn't even know it. And they've come into centers saying that I will never know this child because the woman that I got pregnant went and had an abortion.
Okay, that's not the question I asked you.
What was the question?
Numbers is a book in the Bible, correct?
Yes, Numbers is a book in the Bible.
Doesn't it say something, and I know Rick is paraphrasing and Rick hasn't read the Bible, but
Yep.
Rick's talked to people who read the Bible.
Yeah.
Doesn't it say something in there about how a man can have his wife have an abortion if he thinks that she cheated on him?
No. It said a man can put her away, which means divorce her. It's talking about divorcing after fornication is found out, not killing a baby.
Okay, so I heard that wrong.
Yes, you did.
I don't think we're ever going to agree on this. What I will say is I do believe life starts at the moment of conception, but at that point, it's not human life to me.
I think that it would behoove you, or maybe the word would be imperative, if you actually did research on how ultrasounds work, you actually heard the sound of a beating heart while you're looking at pictures of ultrasounds, because you can actually show it. You can actually show pictures of a growing baby from 4 to 6 weeks and see what you think about it.
Yes, but it's not a baby at that point.
How would you know it's not a baby?
Okay.
There is actual proof that it is a baby.
So
you can't just say it's not a baby if you don't know, if you haven't seen it.
So it'll survive outside of the womb in 4 weeks.
That's not my point. My point is that it's actually growing, and you can see arms, hands, toes, legs. You can see a whole baby. It's not like a deformed creature that's still growing. It's actually a baby that you can see with all of its limbs. And I would encourage you to look at ultrasound pictures of a baby that is not, it was just a few weeks, when a mother is a few weeks pregnant.
Do you think it's right to bring a child into this world if you don't have any health insurance, you don't have any way to make a living, and you're very much struggling, and sometimes you have to skip meals just to pay the rent?
Well, first off, I'm thinking about the women who can't have any children. How about that? Instead of worrying about whether they can't take care of this baby, what about the couples that can't have any babies?
You're saying that if a woman is in a tough spot, she should put her kid up for adoption.
Absolutely. Instead of going off and killing the baby, she would have a better opportunity for that baby if she gave that baby to a couple that actually wants a baby. Instead of thinking that this baby is an inconvenience, because there are other ways that women can handle this. They don't have to, if they don't want to have the child, they can have the baby and give it to someone who can have the baby, who can take care of the baby and raise the baby as its own. I think there's always a way around it. Abortion is not the only choice. And I think that it is very disingenuous for a place like Planned Parenthood to tell the woman that the only choice they have is abortion, because there's other choices.
Okay, one, I don't know that they phrase it quite like that.
Yes, they do. They'll say that it doesn't matter how old you are. We can give you the abortion for free. It doesn't even matter how old you are, and your parents don't even have to know about it.
But, my dear, I would also say that Planned Parenthood also believes in giving out free protection to people who are underage. So that's preventative care, which Republicans, by the way, also don't want that to be the case. They don't want, now think of it like this. If you were really pro-life and you were really about safety, why would you be so against people having access to birth control?
Well, they can.
Why would you be against safe sex like Republicans
Well, first off, they can get it anywhere they want to now because it's over the counter. Okay, so they wouldn't have to go to Planned Parenthood to get it. And by the way, these centers, they advocate for a woman to have a baby safely, but to think of what the best option is for the woman and the baby. They're not thinking about preventative care just because they're already pregnant. Okay. They're already pregnant, and also they're advocating for family growth. It's not, and there's some people, I I think the whole, like, I'm not sure where I fall on the whole birth control thing, honestly, because some people are saying that that birth control is preventing families, and families are good for a good economy, I think.
Wait a second. We got to address a couple things here.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you can get things over the counter, but in a lot of the states, it depends on your age. And also, let's say you're a teenage kid, you may not necessarily have the money to go to a pharmacy and buy over the counter birth control. So that's why we have services like Planned Parenthood. And I would think that if I was a Republican and I was against abortion, I would be in favor of preventative care.
And
because, my dear, if we have preventative care, then we don't even need to get to the state where we have abortions.
Well, first off, there's something called abstinence, and people seem to forget that if you don't have sex, you don't get pregnant.
Okay.
And that's the safest way. Yes, birth control can protect you, but it isn't 100% effective. And there is such a thing as abstinence. And if a woman can't have a baby or can't take care of a baby, then don't sleep around or don't have unprotected sex.
I got to push back a little bit.
Or don't have sex at all.
I got to push back a little bit.
Why?
I'm not saying what you just said isn't true, but I would suggest, my dear, that that's a little bit unrealistic. You're living in a perfect world where people always do the right thing.
No, I'm actually telling the truth here. If you really want to think about it, because, and part of it is because of sexual evolution. Now the sexual revolution has got everybody thinking upside down about sex. Not everybody. Sex has been so perverted. Now it's being treated as a sport. Now it's being treated as something recreationally when it's completely gotten off of what the purpose of sex is really for. And now you've got unwed mothers, single fathers, single mothers, women that would rather have an abortion than have a child and or giving a child to somebody else or taking care of the child. So everything is backwards in this area, and it may not sound realistic to you, but people do it.
Right, people do it, but that doesn't mean that it's the default of everybody chooses it. And okay, maybe we could have an argument that people who are under the age of 20 shouldn't be having sex, but that's not easy to police, and I don't want to be in charge of going into somebody's bedroom. And by the way, I thought the Republican Party is always about, we don't want to be in people's bedrooms. So if you don't want to be in the bedroom...
No, but hold on a second. The Republican Party is in nobody's bedroom. I think what it comes down to is, when it comes to children and babies, protecting children from getting into this mess in the first place, and protecting babies from being killed by either instruments or chemical abortions, that's when it makes it a problem.
Okay.
And it doesn't seem like the liberals seem to care about it, because all they care about is them and what they want to do with their own bodies, but they don't realize that these children are paying the price for it. It's no longer caring for the children, it's caring for my own body. And I think that they got it backwards.
All right, I got to push back on some stuff you said. We got to go to the teenagers. Most teenagers these days, let me rephrase that. When I was a teenager, most teenagers, including myself, were sexually active, right? And I know you would rather live in a society where kids choose abstinence over having sex, right? We can agree. That's the ideal. But if we're not going to get that, at least give them access to birth control.
That still doesn't solve the problem.
But it reduces it.
No, it doesn't reduce the problem, because kids are still having sex whether there's birth control or not.
Right, so why not have them whether it's birth control? If they're going to have sex either way, give them birth control.
It's not going to fix the problem. I think what needs to happen is if a parent doesn't feel comfortable with having them be in sex ed class in the schools, then they should be talking to them about sex from an early age. But of course, everything needs to be age appropriate. So by the time they get to a certain age where they're discovering boys and discovering girls, at least now they have a leg up on what they needed to know.
Okay.
Because when I was growing up, I couldn't talk to my parents about it. I had to find out from teen magazines and health class. And had I known that about boys and how boys are, I probably wouldn't, have met some pretty shady people in my 20s.
So you're saying that parents should do something that your conservative Christian parents didn't do. So I'm wondering how this works, because if we're saying that the conservative Christian movement should do this, but yet your parents who are good conservative Christians didn't do it, how do we expect all these other conservative Christian parents to do it then?
Well, there are things that can help parents along. I mean, I wish that they had that in my day. I mean, maybe they did and I didn't know it. There were people, I'm sure that...
Kiss me, please.
Why?
Because you were getting worked up. I want you to blow up like an Elon Musk walking.
Why are you, what's...
Just give me a kiss.
I don't know. For some reason, he likes it when I get worked up.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't finished yet.
I have a lot to say about this, but
I think we need to go on after this.
Really wrap it up, and then I'm going to say my last piece.
All I'm saying is, if the teachers are not going to teach these kids what they should know already, then parents or people that can, like family advocacy groups who specialize in helping children and families should step in and help these kids.
Okay. There's a bunch of points. I'm going to try to run through them all at once, and then we're going to move on to another topic. Kids are going to have sex. While giving them birth control doesn't completely solve the problem, it does reduce it, because if more kids are using birth control, while birth control isn't 100% effective, it does help reduce unwanted pregnancies.
I will say a really quick...
I thought it was good.
I'm sorry. After you're done, I have to say one more thing.
You say it really quick, and then I'm going to wrap this up.
I will say this. I do think that besides abstinence, children need to know the truth about birth control and how effective it is and how effective it isn't. And also, they need to know the whole thing. They need to know the whole thing from someone who has their best interests.
Okay. I actually agree with that. But here's where we run into a problem. Republicans are always talking about groomers, talking about sex in schools. We can't have sexual education. We need to leave this to the parents. But we know of an example where that doesn't work, because it didn't work with my little Jaylo over here. Her Republican, good Christian parents didn't talk to her about sex. So I don't know who's going to educate these kids if we don't want sex ed in class. Now, I also believe that Planned Parenthood has its issues, but it's a good organization. We need to keep it funded. And I'm pro-abortion. I say let's worry about the people who are here. And now we're going to move on.
It's not a good...
Jaylo, we need to move on.
Hold on, one more thing. It's not a good organization. And by the way, they do sell baby parts, in case you want to know. So I wouldn't support...
Okay, you're talking about that video that came out from Project Veritas. As we know, Georgia O'Keefe, what's that? James O'Keefe and Project Veritas likes to edit videos.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. Ow!
Okay, let's move on.
Should we Google it?
No.
No, Bob.
No, because Google is not a good source for this kind of stuff.
Bob, I'll tell you what we can do, boss. Bob, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Yes, Bob's. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Project Veritas is always correct.com.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's move on now.
And then we're going to see if they say they edit videos. Give me a kiss. Oh, tickle.
Ow. Okay. I'll stop it.
Oh, my goodness.
So the other Republican thing this week is your man Clarence Thomas.
What about Clarence Thomas?
Taking bribes.
We already talked about this.
Right, but more stuff has come out this week.
Oh, please.
It's come out that he has ruled on cases where the dude who was giving him hush money, that dude was involved in the cases.
Yeah, okay. I think it's another ploy to try to get Clarence Thomas. After I've been hearing like the whole thing with Clarence Thomas when he was becoming a justice and the heat that he got because he supposedly sexually harassed Anita Hill, which actually was not proven to be true.
No, they just didn't prove it. They didn't prove that it was false.
No, they didn't want him there because of his stance on issues, and because he wasn't a black Democrat, they wanted to get him on that. So I just kind of dismissed this.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
What?
Let's say let's not say me. Okay, story comes out. Joe Biden, for the last 20 years, goes on a private yacht. And the trips maybe cost like $1 million or $500,000, something around those lines. And we also find out that the guy who paid for these trips bought Joe Biden's home and says that he's going to turn it into a museum. And in the meantime, is letting Biden's family live there for free and has upgraded the home. And Biden signs bills that are favorable to that person. Would that be wrong?
Of course it would, but here's the thing that I have a problem with when it comes to the Clarence Thomas case. The Democrats have been after this guy for a very long time, and they haven't been able to prove that he has been that he was a bad justice or what have you. And it just seems like they're always out for blood because he's not thinking the same way that other black people are thinking, either in Congress or the Senate or the House. And I honestly, I've kind of, I mean, unless it's actually really, really happening, which it sounds to me right now that they haven't exactly proven.
No, they have proven it. They've proven it. He's
According
admitted.
to who?
According to Clarence Thomas, he's admitted that he's taken vacations for this guy. There are public records of this guy buying Clarence Thomas's childhood home and upgrading it, and his mom lived there at the time. And this guy, it's been proven because people have looked back on old cases, and Clarence Thomas has ruled on cases that have benefited the billionaire dude, whose name I can't remember right now.
I don't know, but
So if it's been publicly proven...
I don't know, Bubs. There's another thing I need to look up on.
Will you actually look into it?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go over what your homework is this week. We got Marge saying that adoptive parents and step-parents aren't really parents. We got Tucker Carlson with all of his Tuckerness, right, and craziness. And you already know that he's lied about a bunch of stuff. And we have the Clarence Thomas thing.
Oh my goodness.
So you got some homework this week, babes.
Okay.
Got your work cut out for you there,
Yeah,
little
okay,
Jaylo.
well.
I'm going to be nice, and we're not going to give you Project Veritas this week.
Oh.
But
Well.
I'm glad you have some homework,
Oh my goodness.
because podcasting is all about homework.
Is it?
Yeah,
No, it's not.
ours is. We're changing the name of it to Green Homework in Hammond.
No. No, please don't.
No.
We're
Okay.
not going to change our name.
We've shitted on the Republicans. Now let's shit on some Democrats, metaphorically speaking.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness.
Poopy.
I am not a Joe Biden fan.
I'm not either, as we know.
And as we've also been learning, I'm becoming more and more of a Marianne Williamson stan, right? What?
That's funny.
Very funny, Bob.
Return to love, Bubs. Return to
That's
love.
right. Return to Love.
But I'm not planning to read it, but go on.
Okay. Robert F. Kennedy has announced that he's running for president, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking to myself, well, it's going to be really hard to rig this election against the Kennedy because you can't really badmouth him because of the family history there. And I believe he has like a nephew who's in the Senate or very involved in politics in like the Boston, Massachusetts area.
Mm-hmm.
So how is Joe Biden going to go against the Kennedys when they're so beloved by the establishment? I love Marianne, but I think she's easier to dismiss. But Kennedy, you can't do. And they found a way to do it.
Oh my goodness.
Joe Biden announces earlier this week that he's running for re-election. Well, he's going to run for president again. Yay. Just what we wanted.
I don't think he's going to last. I don't he may not even make it to the primaries.
He might, because he's so old. Seriously, a fall could end his career at this point.
No, you said that he might make it to the primaries?
Well, he might, but he might not.
He might not.
Okay, but here's the deal.
Yeah, he didn't even remember that he went to Ireland last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering, there's no way that the establishment could easily rig it this time. But I'm always surprised, and with the Democrats, it's usually not a pleasant one. Apparently, the DNC doesn't want to hold primary debates.
Which I think is ridiculous.
It is insane.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely insane. It's a form of fascism, because you want us to believe that this candidate is strong enough to go against Trump, yet he can't even debate members of his own parties, of his own party on specific issues. And here's the thing, too.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, I am not a Donald Trump fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I think that Trump is really good at is riling up his base.
Yes, he
going
is.
to events.
I think we would both agree on this, yes.
Yep, holding rallies, the whole nine.
Yep.
Do we really think that Joe Biden is strong enough physically or mentally to hold a series of rallies?
No.
So if he's not going to have debates, and if he's not going to hold rallies, which he got away with in 2020 because of the pandemic, he's not going to get away with that in 2024. How is he supposed to win re-election?
He's not going to be able to do it. He's
right,
not
but
what
I'm saying is, how do Democrats think he's going to be able to do this?
I don't know. I mean, they're going to have some great puppeteers to pull his strings to get for them to get him to do that, to do whatever they want him to do. So I don't know.
I don't know how they think that he's going to win a re-election. And Democrats always say Trump is a unique threat to our democracy. And here's the thing. Alana disagrees with that. I think there's a lot of truth to it. But I also believe it's not a reasonable argument for the Democratic Party to make in 2024 if they're not even willing to hold primary debates.
That's ridiculous. I know.
Yeah.
And also, too, I mean, I know that Joe Biden can hold a rally in a parking lot, but he's got to do something if he wants to get to the primaries.
Well, he's going to get through the primaries, but you mean the general election?
The primaries and the general election, yes.
Something I've been pondering, and we don't know if this is going to happen or not. As you know, I'm a big fan of Kyle from Secular Talk. And how does this relate to Marianne Williamson? A couple of different ways. He was the first one who I heard say that Marianne Williamson would make a good presidential candidate. And actually, when he said that, I thought, I like your stuff, but you're insane for saying this. Now I don't feel that way. But he also asked Marianne Williamson, if you do well in the Democratic primaries, but they rig it against you, like they did with Bernie, and Joe Biden asks for your endorsement, will you give it to him, or will you actually demand that he sign some executive orders? The implication is that if she does really well, and Joe Biden wants her endorsement, Joe Biden is actually going to have to work for that endorsement.
Oh, wow.
Now, that's why I think that whether she wins or loses, she's going to be somebody to reckon with. But here's the thing. The establishment is working so hard against her. Let's say she does really well, and Joe Biden wants her endorsement, and she says no because he doesn't want to sign any executive orders. What's that going to do to the Democratic Party? I could easily see a situation where you drive tons and tons and tons of people away from the party if Marianne Williamson is really ignored by the establishment like they're doing so far.
I don't know. I don't have any comment about that at the moment.
Well, good.
Oh, good.
Now, the other thing, too, that came out about the Republicans is apparently Trump doesn't want to do debates either, which is less of a thing to me because, let's be honest, he's going to get the nomination whether he does debates. I think it's a bad move, but it's not as bad as Joe Biden. And I would also say it's a bad move on his part because Donald Trump is actually really good at debating.
He's very good. Despite what you think about him, he is very good. I think he has some very, very hard questions. I think he gets to the point. I hope he does do debates because I thought they were fun when he did debates.
I hate to say it, they actually are fun.
And also, I think his rallies are fun too. Obviously, I do.
Goodness.
But his debates are really fun. I remember a clip when he was talking about Ted Cruz. He's like, he takes the Bible and he lies.
On the real, there's not a lot of things that Trump does that I love. One of the few things is when he attacks Ted Cruz. I love that.
And he attacks Hillary. And he attacked Jeb Bush.
Yeah. Attacked Hillary, a woman who was invited to his wedding.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Bubs. Okay, we already know what you think about that.
Okay. Have any Republicans ever asked why she was invited to the wedding?
I don't even think that's as big an issue as how what was on her laptop, but I don't know.
Okay, but it is.
I don't know.
It is interesting though that when conservatives want to attack her, they'll say that she went to Trump's wedding, but nobody ever asked Trump, "Why did you invite Crooked Hillary?"
Are you sure that he invited her because he doesn't like her? He likes her. He does not. Excuse me. He does not like her that much. So
she's just going to go to a random wedding of somebody who doesn't like her.
I don't know. I have no idea how she got to the wedding, and personally, I don't care. But
I honestly think, and you're not going to like this, I think that they like each other a lot more than we're led to believe.
I don't
because
believe that.
Not only was she invited to his wedding, but she also went to his swearing in for president, the inauguration.
Maybe she just wanted to do that just to look the part, as you say it. Maybe she just wanted to look like a nice politician and decide that she's going to go to her opponent's inauguration just to save face.
I find it really interesting that Hillary Clinton couldn't be bothered going to any of these women's marches, and she's all about Trump is a threat to our country, but yet she's willing to go to his inauguration.
Well, she's kind of like Biden, but she was falling apart.
No, Biden is way worse.
No. But here's what I'm trying to say. She was sick most of the time. She was going through coughing fits. There was one time when she was getting into this car with her daughter and she almost fell over.
Yeah.
Physically, she's having a hard time. Not mentally, but physically.
No, I'm saying even then, she's not as bad as Biden.
No, she's not as bad as Biden, but she was bad enough.
Yeah, I don't like Hillary. But again, I think her and Trump are closer than people would like to believe. Having said that, I do like when he calls her a cricket Hillary.
Well, what I don't understand, too, is when she was debating against Barack Obama, they really act like they hated each other. Just like I think that she hates Trump. And oddly enough, he chose her to be his Secretary of State.
Listen, I have no love for Obama.
Yeah.
In fact, my biggest complaint was I think that he portrayed himself as anti-establishment, and he was like one of the most establishment people you could ever want. Mm-hmm. But and this was one of those things to where I told my friends when he was running for president, he ain't as liberal as you guys think he is. He ain't as anti-establishment and pro-worker as you want to believe.
I think he is. Well, I don't know. Anyway, go on.
So, I mean, that's just my thoughts on him. And what I would say for both Obama and Trump is that they're so anti-establishment, why did they pass huge tax cuts for the rich? That doesn't seem very anti-establishment.
Well, I think Trump was for the opposite. I think he didn't want to pass tax cuts but for the rich, but he wanted tax cuts, period, for everybody. It wasn't just the rich.
But 83% of his major tax cuts went to the rich.
But they wanted to make it look like that because he's a rich guy. Of course they're going to make it look like it went to the rich only. But he wanted tax cuts for everybody. Everybody.
I would say
and by the way, if you listen to an entire rally, you would actually know what he thought about that.
No, I would make the argument that I would know what he's saying publicly. Listen, why is it that we can agree that Barack Obama lied in his speeches, but we can't say that Trump lied in his?
Because he actually follows up on what he said, not Obama. I mean, Obama, I've heard clips of him saying that he believed that marriage was between a man and a woman, and then when he was in office, he declared that he was for gay marriage.
When he was running for re-election, yes.
Re-election, yes. So what I've noticed about Donald Trump is that he actually means everything he says behind his words. It's not just lip service. And I do believe that. And until there is evidence otherwise, I still believe that.
Oh? I don't know, babes.
I still do.
Oh. But we can move on. Oh my goodness, you squeezed my nose.
I haven't done that yet. One more time.
Oh my God.
He has a cute nose.
Thank you there, Jay. Well,
actually, you started this nose thing.
Oh.
You did.
All right, we've shitted on Trump. We've shitted on Clarence Thomas and on Joe Biden. Now let's shit on a person who I really respect.
Bernie Sanders has endorsed Joe Biden, which...
Bernard Sanders.
I could not care less because I'm not a fan of both of them. But you were up in arms about it.
Let me go over my history with Bernard Sanders.
Oh no, do we have to do this again?
Yes, we do.
Why?
We need some context here.
I already know what you're gonna...
Does everybody else know?
Okay. I think if they listen to it long enough.
I had heard Bernie give a couple interviews here and there, but I really didn't know a whole lot about him. And friends kept saying to me, Bernie's going to run for president. He's going to shake up the establishment. We're talking 2015 now, okay? On the local news, I want to say it was Channel 2, they were doing some story on Bernie Sanders, and they said he's coming to the Moda Center. You can sign up to get free tickets here. Sign up, go to the event. It's packed. We're talking, I want to say August 2015. And he said some stuff that resonated with me. Mm-hmm. But Obama said stuff that resonated with me. And then when you look a little bit deeper, you find out how corrupt he is. So I go home and I'm pondering this, and I decide to look into Bernie's history. Mm-hmm. Turns out, has a long, long history of being pro-civil rights, pro-union, all of the stuff that Rick likes. You can even see him fighting for gay rights in the military on C-SPAN videos from like the mid-90s. Mm-hmm. So I think this isn't somebody who's pretending to be a lib. This is like a real lib dude. He's running for president, and it's contentious between him and Crooked Hillary. I'm even thinking about registering as a Democrat to vote for him in 2016. Mm-hmm. And for some context, I've been an independent. The only time I registered as a Democrat was in 2004 to vote for Dennis Kucinich in the primaries against John Kerry. And we saw how well that worked out. Mm-hmm. Okay. But by the time things get to Oregon, it's pretty much wrapped up. He's not going to get the nomination. He pushes for a progressive agenda, which I really liked. And I know a lot of people, including members of my own family, were upset with Bernie for endorsing Hillary. Mm-hmm. But in my mind, he got all that he could get. And he really waited until the last minute to do it, which I respected. 2020 comes around. Everybody I know is saying, Bernie can't win. He should drop out. Bernie can't do it. And Bernie wins the first 4 primaries. And basically, the establishment cracks down on Bernie. Makes sure that it goes to Joe Biden. Now, to be clear, and I told you this, and I think we even have recordings of it, I said in the summer of 2019, Joe Biden is going to get the nomination for president from the Democrats because he's establishment. Mm-hmm. And he did. Now, I thought he was going to lose. That turned out to be wrong, but 2024 is coming up. Let's see what happens then. Mm-hmm. So I've read a couple of his books, and I actually just downloaded his new book. What is it? It's Okay to Be Angry at capitalism, I think. So
Oh yeah, that's
I finally read that this weekend.
Okay.
So all that to say, I'm still a Bernie fan. I have a lot of respect for him. I really think that he's a man who has given a lot for progressive causes. And I really, really, really think that he is a great person in a lot of ways. Okay? But he did something this week that really pissed me off, and that was endorsing Joe Biden. Now, I understand you're not going to come out and say, I endorse Marianne Williamson. Now, for some context, when Marianne dropped out of the presidential race in 2020, do you know who she endorsed?
No, who?
Bernie Sanders.
Oh, wow.
Immediately after she dropped out, she endorsed Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it. You're in a different position from her, especially so early on, you can't endorse her.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe what you do is say something like, I'm not endorsing anybody. I think everybody has the right to run.
Mm-hmm.
To immediately bend the knee to Joe Biden.
Yeah.
After not only the stuff he's done to you, but the moves he's pulled against progressives is honestly pretty insulting to me.
Mm.
I really think that it's kind of a slap in the face to real progressives. I've kind of said my piece. If you have any questions, you can ask me. What do you think?
Well, I just, I don't know. I mean, I guess my only comment would be, why couldn't he endorse somebody someone who was a lot more competent than him?
Yeah.
I mean, even that alone is a question. Why could he endorse somebody that was a lot more competent, a lot more articulate, that could actually form a base?
Yeah. And I get that Bernie and Biden are actually like long time friends,
mm-hmm.
even though Biden screwed him in 2020. Mm-hmm. They've known each other for many years, decades even. So maybe you don't endorse anybody else, but stay out of it then.
I would agree.
Stay out of it.
Stay out of it if you can't figure out who to endorse, but don't endorse the most incompetent person that is planning to run.
And Bernie's a smart man. He knows that Biden is no friend of progressives outside of him, and that Biden is incompetent. He knows that. Mm-hmm. There's no way he doesn't know that. So it's really sad, and I can't believe he did that.
What I can't believe is that there's like a very small percentage hanging on a thread of Democrats who still think that Biden's doing a good job.
And unfortunately, babes, they're the ones who are in power, most of them.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. I mean, Chuck Schumer. I mean, I more and more I'm hearing Chuck Schumer. I do not like this man.
I don't either. He's one of those people who says the right things when the camera's around, and then when it comes time to vote, doesn't do the right moves.
Well, and also he is more, I believe, more tied to China, which is really interesting since he said way back in the day that the border should be protected and there should be no illegals coming over. And
I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I don't know about that. Having said that, it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case.
He's more, I mean, he may not know that I don't know. It's possible he knows that he's connected to China, and it's not in a good way.
Okay, let's talk about the squad for a second.
Oh, no. Them?
Well, I have mixed feelings about the squad right now. And when I say the squad, we're obviously talking about AOC,
Ayanna Pressley,
Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and maybe a couple other
Presley.
Yeah, maybe a couple other progressives who aren't really associated with him, but Jamal Bowman is kind of the more liberal wing of the Democratic Party. And a lot of them, maybe all of them, respect Bernie a lot. I would say all of them. I wonder, will any of them have the guts to say that it's wrong that the Democratic Party doesn't want to have primary debates?
I don't know.
And I don't know either.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I really hope on this one they don't take their talking points from Bernie.
Uh-oh.
Because if they do, they're going to make a huge mistake.
They probably would.
Yeah, and again, I could really easily see this thing pulling apart the Democratic Party. But I'm also an artist, and I like to be dramatic, so...
You love to be dramatic.
Dramatic, yeah. So...
Oh, there's something I need to say about AOC for a minute that you probably never heard, or maybe you did.
She is in love with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
No.
No, okay, I know what it is. I know what it is.
No, you don't.
You know, no, I do. You want to know what it is? She has been hired to take over Tucker Carlson's...
No. It's not good.
Oh, that wouldn't be good either. What is it?
I forgot what show she was on, and you know that we're both not for censoring anybody's shows, right?
Exactly.
Well, she said that so she heard about the Tucker Carlson firing, and she implied that she was in charge, that she had something to do with this firing because she believed that conservative media should be regulated. I heard it. I just heard it the other day, and you could even look that up. I think she might have been on, was it MSNBC? It was one of the mainstream media outlets, but I'm like, why would you say that?
Okay.
But then I've never really expected anything less or anything more from her.
I didn't hear that. I would check into it, though.
No, she did say that. It's not something that I would have said, obviously.
No. And AOC has lost a lot of cool points with me over the years.
Yeah, she's very stupid.
That mask thing was really...
That was very bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then that whatever dollar dress she was wearing...
Tax the rich.
Tax the rich, but she could afford that dress.
Well, it's not that she afforded the dress, but the gala that she went to was $30,000 a ticket.
That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Yeah.
So... I don't know about AOC anymore. Jaylo, I might not get married to her anymore. Babes.
No, I think she's too cool for the room.
I might not get married to AOC. She might not be my future ex-wife.
She won't be. I don't know if you'd be able to handle her. Yeah.
I wouldn't even say that joke. I was about to say, but...
I think I knew where that was going.
That's
not what I meant.
Some
sexual innuendo.
Okay.
I know, you're an innuendo boy.
I'm loving boy true, babes.
Well, sometimes when you feel like it, yes.
I am all the time.
What ifs?
I talked about the Ron DeSantis thing, but remind me tomorrow because I feel like we've spent a lot of time on politics today.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so. Yes.
Is there anything else you want to discuss? There's a couple of things, but I also feel like we could save them till tomorrow.
Okay. One thing I want to say is that I'm glad we got the groceries.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad that we got them at a decent time. I was hoping that the person delivering my packages were going to come to my apartment door because I let her in, but and I'm glad she came downstairs with me because she left the packages in the lobby, which I was very surprised.
Yeah, I would not leave a tip.
Okay.
But that's just me, babes.
I don't know if it already. Maybe I'll give her like a. Maybe I'll take some points off of her
nice
thing. Yeah. Maybe I'll take a point off of her. She got everything else, but I think I might just take a point off of her her review.
We might get some ice cream soon.
Well, either tomorrow or later.
Either later or. Tomorrow. Yes, I'm cool either way, babes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really cool either way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, have we decided if you want me to get it from a place that sells ice cream only, or do you want me to get it from Instacart or something?
My thought is Instacart only because if we get it from a regular like Baskin and Robbins, it would probably melt by the time it got here. But if we get
that could be true
from Instacart, we could get like a big tub of ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we do that tomorrow?
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because I think I will have to buy some extra things too, but maybe I won't have a a huge order or something.
Yeah, you're running low on paper towels.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I have like a whole bunch of them in my cabinet.
Nice.
I will have to get napkins though.
Oh, good. I saw... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I saw a really cool Adam Ragosia video yesterday about how to make ice cream with dried ice.
Wow.
I just got to get some dried ice now.
Yeah, I heard you have to really handle it carefully because you can get burned.
That's what he said. He's like, be careful with this. You could get frostbite.
You could, yeah, you could. And then, you don't want to get gangrene. But how do you handle... I wonder if you have to handle it with gloves.
Some people do. I think he used tongs.
Tongs, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You want to use tongs.
No. Because if there's one gang we don't like, it's green.
Oh my
Wah,
goodness.
share the dad joke that you came up with the other day when we were hanging out.
I did not come up
According
with it.
to Facebook, you did.
No, you put my name first, and it was you that came up with it. You
Can I tell you something?
What?
I love you.
And I kissed you.
No, you say it.
Okay. We were talking... I don't even know what we're discussing.
We were talking about Miss Chalet.
Yeah. Who, in the late 80s, had a song called No More Lies.
Yeah, around that time, yeah.
Yeah. Like 89, 90.
Yep.
So, I said to Alana, after she whispered this joke in my ear.
I did not whisper anything.
Okay. What's the favorite song of a Michelle A fan who just finished Weight Watchers? Answer, No More Thighs.
And your friend laughed at it, and I'm like, wow, I didn't think it was that funny, but okay.
Occasionally you come up with some good material, babes.
No, you're
it's
the
very
one...
rare. I will grant you
Okay,
that.
first off, you put my name first. You didn't even ask me to put my name 1st. You're the one who came up with the joke, so I'm not taking credit for that one.
Good.
Oh my goodness.
I've been trying to archive our old phone conversations that I did on the mixer. I have a lot of them on my computer that I just haven't edited, meaning putting all the tracks together.
How old do you say, like how far back?
Oh, only a couple years, because we didn't start recording off the mixer until maybe April of 2021.
Really?
Yeah, I wish I'd had it before then, but I didn't even think about that.
Oh, that's when you got... Wait, when did you get your mixer?
Around that time.
Oh, okay.
I really, really, really... If it was up to me, I probably said this before, I would have had a mixer back in the 90s and just had this huge archive of recordings. So you could listen to me talk with all my ex-girlfriends and former compadres.
What? I don't want to talk... I don't want to hear you talking to your ex-girlfriends. Because they're not me.
Okay, what else?
And I think our conversations are more unique than that.
Nice. So I'm going to keep recording our phone conversations.
No, I didn't say that, Bubs.
Why should the world lose something so unique?
Well, I think, I think our conversations are unique, but I don't think people need to know everything.
I don't know. But I love you. As I kiss the back of your hand.
Oh.
Well, babes.
Yes.
We've said a lot.
Yes, we did.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
It's a hot day in Portland.
It is.
It's going to be at least 85 degrees, which actually feels like it might be 95, but it's not.
Oh.
It was really nice being out in the sun, and that breeze felt really good too.
Nice.
It's a perfect day for tandem bike riding.
Yes.
Hopefully, if it doesn't get too hot.
We will not be doing that today, though.
No, we won't.
No, we won't.
Okay.
Okay, is that it, babes?
Yes.
All right, I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
I love
Kiss
you.
back of your hand. I love you. I
Now-
love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Okay, stop.
That's a new character called the I Love You guy.
Oh.
Keep going, babes. What were you about to say?
Well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
With the I Love You guy?
Yeah, that. And whether I decide I want to get ice cream tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, if you decide tonight, I'm not going to stop you.
Oh my.
And it might be better just to get it out of the way. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Well, babes.
Yeah.
Should we wrap it up?
Yes.
All right, first give me a kiss.
No.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness. Oh, let me ask you one more thing.
What?
Are you happy with your homework assignments?
It's something for me to do besides tech stuff and other things.
Very cool, babes.
Yeah, I mean it'll be something to look up.
Yeah, we okay. I remembered this morning when I was in the bathroom peeing that there was a homework assignment I gave you like 2 years ago, and I never got an answer from it.
What was that one?
So
Because I don't remember.
Right after January 6th, I had told you, find me a time when Trump took responsibility for something that he did wrong, and he took full accountability for it. He didn't try to blame anybody else for him making a mistake.
The problem with that is that he's been blamed for pretty much everything, and there is no evidence for him doing whatever they have said that he did. So that's the problem I have there.
Okay, but he's never done anything wrong in his life that he could take responsibility for?
Well, I mean, he has talked about how he did get himself into debt, and he got out of it because he did have money problems in the past. He admitted it. He admitted it like at the beginning of The Apprentice when you showed his intro.
And he didn't blame anybody else but himself.
No, he got himself out of it.
But he admitted that he was the one who got himself into it.
Yes. He had money problems.
Okay. And I guess he was open about the fact that he cheated on his wives. So
he was open about the fact that his marriage has failed, yes.
No, he was open about cheating on his first wife.
Who?
Donald Trump was.
No, but how did you know that?
Because it was all over the liberal media back in the 90s. And this was when he was still a Democrat.
Are we going to keep talking about this?
Okay, we don't have to. We can wrap it up.
Thank you.
But you got new homework assignments. I'm excited. I can't wait to grade your papers.
I'm not going to write any papers.
No. You just got to come back and say, hey, this turned out to be true. Hey, this wasn't true. all that good stuff.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, all right, give me another kiss.
No.
Why?
I don't want
Don't you want to go to grade on your homework?
Oh. You're not my teacher.
I'm everybody's teacher.
No, you're not.
I'm a teacher in the classroom of life. Get used to it.
That's God, Bubs.
Oh, well, they do call me the bald God. Ow, by my nose.
Okay.
All right.
That's enough now.
All right. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.